guys, welcome or welcome back to this channel. In case you're new here, this is Tales of Adela. In case you're a new viewer, feel so much welcome and sit back and feel at home, bana. This is a place for you. This is a channel that is dedicated to educate, inspire, and help people out there take the necessary precautions, or precautions. And so this is a different segment on this channel. This is a segment that has so much to do with coexistence. It revolves around relationships, issues, be it friendships, be it sibling, a parent-child relationship, be it just environmental relationship with each other based on the environment that you're in. Yeah, and that's it. Basically, of lately, I've just been thinking and grinding over issues to do with friendships, relationships, how we exist with each other. And I've just been thinking of how hard it is to actually deal with human beings, including me myself. There are times I go through moments that are just so hard for me to handle issues around me, and it makes it so complicated for us to relate with other people. And so lately, in the present days, like, it's so hard to just find a friend who you can just call, and hata kama kuna kitu ya kuongelelea, nothing official, nothing meaningful to talk about, you can just call and laugh and things of the sort, and just maybe go on a date with friends who you can trust, who you can just love genuinely, who you can have healthy boundaries with. It's so hard, like, if we don't have anything meaningful to talk about, then there's no need for us to meet, for you to call me, for you to text. Like, there's so much going on, and I tend to believe that when technology came in, nobody knew how far will be too far for us relating with it, because I feel like technology, basically social media, has eaten into our relationship matters, and it's so much affecting how we relate with each other in the physical, how we feel about each other. You wake up today thanks to social media, penye information just goes all over in a short time. You wake up today, someone just posts something without caring how that thing will impact the other people or affect the other people out there. And these are things that are happening, and there's even something to do with AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends, which is actually limiting us from relating at a physical level, because at times we just fear being judged. We just feel not enough. I feel that's a thing. Whenever we feel not enough, we feel like we cannot even relate, because what am I bringing to the table? And that feeling of not enough has come from a point of, if you have nothing meaningful, please don't call me, please don't text, please, there's no need for us to spend time together. And that's happening actually. And so much has come with this technology thing, and no one is actually talking about it. We're all over showing off our lifestyles, complaining about what's working, what's not working. But have we ever taken a moment to just sit and reflect on how we are treating the people around us, how we ought to treat them actually, how we are treating ourselves in the physical? Because at times we're so unfair even to ourselves, in that we tend to spend so much time on social media, just doing nothing, or just getting entertained for as long as we feel like we are happy in the moment, we're good to go. But there's so much to life other than that, because in reality, vitu kwa ground ni different sana, because we have to relate with each other, we have to get services from other people, we have to give services to other people. Like, how are we coexisting basically? And so, in line with this coexisting and the whole thing to do with relationships, uh, I'm just going to touch on maybe three aspects of it. I'm going to touch on trust, on love, on boundaries. Yeah. And so on to trust. Of late, like unaweza tu sikia msi akisema oh, it's not easy for me to trust, including myself. Actually nilikuwa nimefika point najiambia it's not easy for me to trust nini nini, but the question is, can I be trusted? Can I really be trusted? And there's so much revolving around trust actually, because there's a time I found out that someone said they can never trust me, and it actually got into me. It made me feel so bad, but as time went by, I realized there's nothing to feel bad about such a thing when someone says they cannot trust you, because basically I found out I myself I struggle to actually trust many, many times, and that's a thing that I'm working on. And yeah, it's good to be so cautious in everything. Yeah, it's very good, but in as much as whenever you say you cannot trust someone, can you yourself be trusted? I know it's so hard for us to trust strangers, to trust people we've just met, people we don't have a personal relationship with. But building a relationship is step after another, and we have to be intentional about that for us to build a relationship. Yeah. And on to the second thing, something to do with love. I'm a Christian who strongly believes in the word, and I believe that love has a certain number of characteristics that come with it. Love is not rude, love does not envy, love is kind, love bears all things, love does not rejoice at iniquity, love has something to do with the larger thing about how we need to sacrifice, about love is not self-seeking actually. And of late I've just been thinking, are these relationships that we have based on love, or are we just relating with other people because of what we can get from them or what we cannot get from them? When I was a teenager, I'm old, but I'm past teenagehood, let me say that. When I was a teenager, I used to think mtu akikukosea, it's that way, like there's no way you're going to solve anything. Ukikosewa, just move on with life, cut off the people, and yeah, and there's so much to do, so much in the present world to do with cutting off, burning bridges. These are notions that are being spread thanks to social media. Someone just comes up with a notion that seems so catchy, and everyone is jumping with it. Everyone is posting on social media New Year resolutions, sijui I'll cut you off, sijui nini nini, sijui. Yeah, there's so much, Bana, that is really affecting our relationships without our knowledge. These are creepy things that are eating into the human coexistence. And I believe that this is a device that the devil is actually using to just eat into God's plan for humanity, because love is something that is ordained by God. When the Bible says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full," it actually means it. Try that word and you'll see, because when you basically love wholeheartedly, you genuinely love, you will always be a free heart person. You will not feel that burden to keep a record of evil within you, to just be rude to people, to just be selfish, to be unkind. Your words, you'll choose your words wisely. You'll choose to have healthy boundaries with people and relate with people in the right way. And so yeah, on to boundaries. Boundaries, this is something that has been going on around everywhere you go. you hear people say set boundaries, set boundaries, set boundaries. And if we do not actually understand uh, how we can set healthy boundaries, it's something that is also eating into our relationships, because at times these are days where we are so much into ourselves, because we feel like we have social media, we are spending so much time getting entertained on social media, forgetting that we have people in the physical who we have to relate with, who we have to be patient with. And I believe sisi wote hufanya makosa many times, countless times tumefall, tumefanya mistakes hapa na pale. And at times there are people who will deal with you like they have never made a mistake, and maybe at times those are seasons for them. They are in seasons where they're just going through moments that just don't give them that enablement to just deal with people in a patient manner, to extend grace to other people actually. And that happens so much. And if you find yourself maybe setting boundaries because you're in moments that are very low, and you're not able to set boundaries that are healthy for you, because these are boundaries you're setting maybe out of bitterness, out of that low moment. And also if you find yourself setting boundaries depending on a situation, these are boundaries that are not going to work everywhere for you. They're going to be, I don't know, these are boundaries that are going to limit you in some way. And so when it comes to this whole thing to do with relationships, whatever boundaries you set, please don't be selfish with them, and make sure these are boundaries that will work for you, and you will be okay for another person to have such boundaries. And even in churches today, just to wrap up, even in churches today, people will talk about boundaries, people will talk about love, about trust, but in real sense, what's happening on the ground, love is really not a thing anymore. Trust is really not a thing anymore. Boundaries are just something else, something different. And I believe it's the scheme of the enemy, where in everything there's always the truth in it, there's always the can I say there's always a photocopy of what seems like truth, which is actually being used by the devil, let me say so, to just attack the purpose towards why human beings exist. And that's the thing that is going round. You find out in churches, people are envious of each other. People can't just sit in the same place and have genuine discussions. Umekosea mse, they're not just ready to forgive other. They're not ready to forgive, and what else can they do? They're going to cut you off, just as whatever notions that are going on out here say. They're going to cut you off, they're going to burn bridges with you and everything. If Jesus was such a person, then today we wouldn't actually be hopeful of the good things to come with life actually, because Jesus is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. That's what the Bible says. And Jesus himself is the ultimate show of love, the ultimate proof that there's more to life than just the strains of life. Love is the basis of everything in life. So that's it for today, guys, and see you on the next one. Bye.